Well, hello again, and welcome to the Double M Farm. I did it. I put a thumb on my little Harbor Freight trencher backhoe. There you see it. We'll take a closer look at it in just a moment. After pricing the metal and getting it cut, because I don't have a plasma cutter, so there was no way to properly cut out the thumb with what I have on hand, plus the price of the metal, I decided to just go ahead and order a thumb, even though they're too big out of the box for these little backhoe trenchers. So what I did is, off of eBay, I ordered this. It's the Titan KDBH-T24. It is a 24-inch backhoe thumb that comes unassembled. Everything's just cut, and you put it together and weld it yourself. And I thought, well, that'll be the best way to go, because with it being in separate pieces, I can dry fit it and cut it down as I need each piece to properly fit it to the Harbor Freight trencher backhoe. And it worked out great. This is a very good little backhoe thumb. If you have a larger backhoe and you're looking at a thumb, I highly recommend this Titan backhoe thumb. Very easy to put together. It's cut out great with, they plasma cut it, so they say, and I believe it, because the fit is very tight, perfectly fits together. After I dry fit everything and got it cut where I needed it, I just welded it myself, and very easy to assemble. You see the little picture there shows you where everything goes, and works great. 24-inch thumb is way too long for the Harbor Freight trencher backhoe. So what I did is I cut that much off. That would be right there. And as you can see, I cut it off, and that would have been like that, which would have put the end of my thumb way down here, which was way too long. 20 inches is what I have now, which is the perfect length. 18 will work. I came out at 20 inches, measuring from the boom here down to the end of the thumb. 20 inches is what it worked out by cutting this piece off of each side, and worked out great. It comes unpainted, obviously, so that you can weld it easier. This plate is 6 inches wide, and obviously the boom is 3 inches. So you have 1.5 inches on either side. And my initial thought when I ordered it was I would cut this down. That would mean then I'd have to grind these tabs off and just flat weld these side pieces onto it closer together. But then what that meant, by doing it closer together, I would have had to close this up, which meant I would have had to cut this plate down before I welded it in. So rather than do all that cutting, I dry fitted on here with some C-clamps, and it seemed to work so well, even being that much wider. And I figure it gives a little extra strength to the boom, having that on there. It was very easy to weld. You weld wherever you want to on here. And I also came around and just welded these tabs that go through. And I did not weld it onto the boom. I decided I wanted to keep it removable, just like other things I've done. I don't have anything welded onto this machine that I've added. I've made everything bolt on. So I bolted it on with grade 8 bolts, just drilled through. I put this on my drill press and drilled the holes for it. Likewise with this hole. Drilled it on my drill press. Before I welded it together, I took the 2 plates and clamped them together and put it on my drill press and drilled this hole out. What I did is I measured, find this piece again, I measured, in case you're thinking of doing this on yours, I measured 3 inches from the bottom of this hole to the center of my new hole. And that's where I drilled it. And I didn't quite center it. I just kind of estimated about where to put it there as far as centering it. It's a little bit closer to the top side, the back side of the thumb. But it's 3 inches, not on center, 3 inches from the bottom of the hole to the center of the new hole. That's where I put it, and it gave me a 20-inch thumb. Could have ground this off and made it look like this, but I didn't really see any need in doing that. Now the other thing this does, normally the way this thing is factory made, is when you're not using it, this support piece, you'll pin it here and it'll swing up, and this hole will line up with this hole. So it will swing up in here, then the thumb will swing up and this hole will line up here. So the whole thing will be swung up and stored. Obviously, by shortening it, this hole no longer lines up. So I can still store this inside of here, but I just have to pull this pin and remove the thumb, or either put it back on the drill press and drill another hole in here to line up with one of these holes. I don't even think I'm going to mess with doing that, because no more than I'm going to use this thing, when I'm not using it, I will store this in here and just pull this pin and take the thumb itself off, store it in the barn, and then I'll have it when I need it. So there you go. It'll work. The Titan thumb that you assemble yourself works great. I've already tried it. Was going to show you it working today, but it's drizzling rain here, so I'm not going to get out in the rain. I will make a video another day of the thumb in use and show you how it works. I picked up a small log with it, and it worked great. Well, I say small log, it was 24 inches around. But as you can see over here in the trees there, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 trash piles of stuff. 6, there's another one up top of the hill, that I want to clean up out under my meadow there. And that's what I'll be using that thumb for initially. Pull the trailer up close and use the Harbor Freight trencher and thumb attachment to pick up all of these piles of tops. Plus I'm going to be cutting some trees. That big pine tree there is coming down. So the thumb will come in handy to help remove the logs. I can stack them up on the trailer and haul them off. I've got a big hole down at the bottom of the hill that I'm putting all this stuff in and gradually filling it in. So that's what I'll be doing with the thumb on the trencher. And hopefully we'll have better weather. It's starting to rain again. I got to get out of the rain. Hopefully we'll have better weather and I'll be able to film it and show you how the thumb works on this little trencher. But if you're thinking of getting one, if you like the way that looks on mine, I think it's going to work out fine, and it's $134, I believe is what I paid for it. So for the price of a thumb, that's not too bad. Like I say, I couldn't buy the material and have it pay somebody to cut it out for me because I didn't have the tools to cut it out. So it worked out good for me. And again, I'll post a video as soon as I'm able of it actually in use. So there you go. The thumb is on Little Red. She's ready to pick up some trash for me. So once again, thank you for visiting here at the Double M Farm, and we'll talk to you again real soon.